Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Alicia and thank you so much for being here. Happy May 2024. We are at the very end of May. We are almost in June. We're a few days out, but in today's reading vlog, we are gonna read a sports romance. We're reading Wildfire by Hannah Grace. I can't wait to get into this. This is the second book in a 3-book series. I think it's going to be 3 books total. I'm not sure if a 4th one is coming out. I believe the 3rd one is releasing this summer. The first one was Icebreaker. I read this at the end of last year and I loved it so much. I gave it 4 stars, and then this one actually came out towards the end of last year. I think it came out in October of 2023, and now it's May 2024, so not that much longer. And then I think the 3rd book is coming out in July, maybe. I'll put a picture on the screen of all 3 books, but in the first one, they're all sports romances. So this one you followed Stassi and Nate, and she's an ice skater and he is on the hockey team at their college. And then in this one, Wildfire, we're following, I believe it's Russ. So Russ is on the hockey team with Nate. And then you've got Aurora, which I don't think we met Aurora in the first book. So in this one, I think they're celebrating the end of the academic school year. It's not the end of college, but it's just the end of that year. And I couldn't tell you what grade they're in college or what year they're in. I think they're all at least old enough to drink, so maybe they're 21 years old. It's a new adult sports romance, but they're celebrating the end of the academic school year. Summer is upon us, or right around the corner anyways, and they are all drinking, I guess, at Russ's fraternity house. And he and Aurora have never met before. They meet, they get drunk, they hook up, and then Aurora disappears. She just kind of slips out. I don't know when that happens. I don't know if it's that same night or if she disappears the next morning, but Russ doesn't get her full name, and so he can't find her. And then I'm not sure how much time later, but they both end up going to their summer gig, which is to be summer camp counselors, and they run into each other. Isn't that so cute? So I don't know if this will be heavy on the sports romance, even though he is a hockey player, because this is taking place at summer camp. And it sounds so cute. And he has his reasons for needing to keep his job at the summer camp. I know in a lot of the reviews online, I guess he's got a lot of family issues, and his dad is a really big gambler. He has a gambling addiction. And so I guess during the summer, you can't live in the fraternity house. So if he gets kicked out of summer camp, I guess he would have to go home to his mom and dad and deal with his dad's gambling addiction. So he is just very, straight and narrow. He is going to follow the rules, but then you have Aurora, and it says on the back of here that she is not one for following the rules. And I guess with Aurora's story, I think what did it say online? Because it doesn't really say a lot on the back of here. What did it say on Amazon? I'm trying to remember. Something about she's tired of being in the spotlight. I don't know if she's like a social media influencer. I have no idea because we didn't read her or meet her in that first book, but she doesn't care if they get kicked out or not, but there's a really big no staff fraternizing rule, and I guess they take it extremely seriously at the summer camp. And so you've got forced proximity, and I'm assuming tension, and of course they're gonna fall in love. So we'll see what happens with them, but I'm so excited to get into this. This has over 246,000 reviews across Amazon and Goodreads, and it has between a 3.9 and a 4.0 or 4.1 star rating. I'll put it on the screen. I was just looking at that before I started recording. But again, this one was 4 stars. Hannah Grace. Okay, I don't want to say she's known for smut because this was her first book and I have not read Wildfire yet, but this book was so smutty. I mean, okay, look, I like smut here and there, maybe a scene or two, but I don't need it on every other page, and that was why I gave this book 4 stars. So I'm a little bit nervous to read this book because I'm just so nervous there's going to be so much smut. So I'm hoping that rule, that no staff fraternizing rule, really comes into play, and maybe they won't hook up until way later in the book and they can get to know each other. But we'll see. I'm super excited to read this. But yeah, let's hop in and see what we think of Wildfire. Okay, I tried to turn a little because my glasses are the transition ones and they'll turn into sunglasses in the sunshine, even though I'm sitting in my office, but the sun is right outside the window. Okay, I don't even want to say on page 1, just before we even get into the book. By the way, this book is 382 pages long. Romance books are getting longer and longer. And I think on Amazon it says it's almost 400. I think it said 396, but when I got to the end, I don't want to ruin it for myself, but I did see that there's an epilogue, but it ends on page 383 and then it goes into the acknowledgments. So there's that. Well, literally the first page, take the book. This is just the cover. So just this first page past the cover, it says at the very bottom, there is a content warning. Wildfire is intended for adult readers only. It contains mature themes and sexually explicit content and is not intended for readers younger than 18 years old. And it does say the words content warning. So there's that. So we'll see how much smut is in this book. Y'all, we're getting alternating point of views. Russ has chapters, Aurora has chapters. That's my favorite when you get that. Okay, here we go. We got the cutest little reunion, y'all. It's everybody from the first book is here. Nate, Stassi, Henry, JJ, Maddie, Bobby, Chris. Oh my gosh. And I think the third book is Henry's love story, which I know when Icebreaker broke the internet and just took the world by storm, everyone was losing their minds over Henry. And so we all wanted the second book to be about him. The third book is about him. Hannah Grace listened. Thank you. But, oh my gosh, we just got to see them all. They're all just roasting Russ. Just giving him a hard time about going off to this camp to be a camp counselor. I guess the camp is called Honey Acres. And he'll be a counselor there for 9 weeks, like living there. He'll be living at that camp. 9 weeks is a long time. There will be 20 kids total. That's not a lot. I don't think that's a lot of kids at all. I'm wondering if, I don't know, maybe that'll change. Maybe just his group will have 20 kids. I don't know, but whatever. Honey Acres, 9 weeks, 20 kids. And Russ is saying that he needs the money because the bar that he was working at in the first book got shut down for serving minors. And I remember in the first book, didn't Russ fake date Stassi for 5 minutes or something just to get these people off of her back, some guys that were hitting on her at the bar? I remember that. And then Nate came in and saved the day. Maybe. I don't know. But I do remember Russ working at a bar. So I guess that's shut down. But so we got a little bit of an opening. They are preparing for their frat party. They're all getting ready for it right now. So we haven't met Aurora yet. And neither has Russ. Y'all, it is 8 p.m. It has been many hours since I started the book and then stopped reading the book. I'm just hanging out with my cat. I need to pick up the book. I also haven't made dinner tonight, and it's after 8 o'clock. What is wrong with me? The book is really good. It's really good. I read the second chapter, and Aurora, she's really sweet on this basketball player, and I guess, like at the college, and I guess this basketball guy, he's graduating, and so this is his last final hurrah, and Aurora's there, and I think she's just trying to be with him one last time, and I guess he's not really feeling that, and her friend is at the frat house where Russ is. Her friend is with all the hockey players, and Aurora is over at some basketball frat house, and she finally leaves, and she goes to Russ's house, doesn't know it's Russ's house, but she's in the kitchen and everyone's drinking out of plastic cups, and she's so anti-plastic cup. There's a whole spiel on that. So she's in the kitchen opening all the cabinets, looking for regular tumblers or cups, and Russ walks in and he's watching her from behind, like, what is this girl doing? And then he just walks up to her and says, "Are you a burglar?" And then they just have this meet cute. And it was so precious. It was so precious. And then some of their friends are in the living room, or however a frat house works. They're somewhere in a common area. And they're all getting ready to play drunk Jenga. And I guess on some of the Jenga pieces, they have written dares, really explicit dares, for you to do if you pull that one. And so Russ and Aurora, they're in the kitchen. They're talking. It is precious. I was giggling. It was so cute. Like, I can't even explain it. It was, I'm already obsessed in the second chapter. And I'm like, this book is 5 stars for sure. And then they go into whatever the common room is to play drunk Jenga. And the chapter ends. So we didn't actually watch Jenga yet. So maybe that'll happen in the 3rd chapter. But then I just stopped reading. But this book is really good. But it's already, what time is it? My battery on my watch is no longer, so I need to get this replaced. I just love wearing my watch, but I want to say it's 8:15, maybe it's 8:30, and I need to go make dinner. I'm gonna make some pasta, but this book is really good. I just don't know what happened these last 8, 9, 10 hours. It has been a long time. But I just set the book down and never came back to it. And that was earlier this morning. It is 8:38 p.m. It is later than I thought. But these are the ingredients in the vegetable pasta that I'm about to make. Chicken, lemon, a zucchini, fried eggplant. This is so good. Don't laugh that it says 7-Eleven. I live in Japan, so 7-Eleven is legit. That's a grocery store. Tomatoes, mushrooms, cream cheese, butter, again, from 7-Eleven, the grocery store. Chives, garlic, Parmesan cheese, pasta. It's so good. I also just pulled my half an onion out of the refrigerator. Y'all, don't knock this till you've tried it. I haven't tried these mushrooms before. They didn't have the other ones at 7-Eleven that I usually get, but yum. It's gonna be so great. Okay, I'm in my kitchen. I've got the vegetables in the oven, and then I have the pasta on the stove, and I already cooked the chicken. So I'm reading chapter 3, and one of the dares is the Jenga block is grabbed by someone else, and it says nominate 2 people to kiss. So you already know. So she nominates Russ and Aurora to kiss, and it is so cute. Y'all, Russ is a little golden retriever. I know we're all obsessed with Henry, and we want Henry to have his own book, and he is a little golden retriever. So is Russ. He holds her hand out of the kitchen, to guide her. He's leading her to drunk Jenga, and then he's making sure no one bumps into her, and he just cannot get over how beautiful she is. I mean, look, she's so cute. He just keeps saying pretty. She's so pretty. And then someone says, nominate 2 people to kiss. You guys are so childish. Well, since they're the only people I know, I suppose, I guess I'll just choose Aurora and Russ. So they're both looking at each other. Aurora is down. She is just always down for anything, always down to have a good time. And Russ is just looking at her like, are you sober enough for this? And she's like, yeah, are you? He's so respectful. Well, then, after they make out, the game keeps going. Everyone's playing. It's naming off all the dares. And I knew when I read the second chapter and I checked in with y'all, and I was like, oh yeah, there's explicit things written on these Jenga dares, on these little Jenga blocks. Absolutely. So then Russ draws one, and it says, give your nearest hockey... Oh, no, sorry, not Russ. Aurora draws a Jenga block, and it says, give your nearest hockey player a lap dance for 2 minutes. And Russ just... I love this book. I love this book so far. That is my check-in. So now I'm on chapter 4. page 33. So I think I've got 7 more minutes on the vegetables and the pasta. So maybe I can read this. The chapters are pretty short too. So maybe I can read this before that's done. And then I'll eat my dinner and check back in with y'all. Okay, I read the next chapter. Aurora also has daddy issues, just like Russ does. There's some stuff going on with her dad. You know, his dad is addicted to gambling. And then Aurora, like, they're talking, they're bantering, and she's like, I want to see your room. So he takes her upstairs to his bedroom, and Russ seems so interested in her. So we already know from the synopsis that they're going to hook up. But I can already tell, I'm 45, 50 pages in, he is so into her. So I don't know, in the next chapter, I guess they're going to hook up and we're going to see how that happens. But for him, this would not just be a one-time thing. But in her mind, because she's got such daddy issues, this is a one-time thing. She's going to hit it and quit it. Which she does, because we all know she's going to bounce. She's going to leave. So that's where we are. They're about to head up there so she can just see his room. And she's looking at this as a one-time thing, but in his mind, I mean, he's giddy, he's excited, but he's like sweating and he's nervous. The tips of his ears keep getting pink. It's so cute. Their banter, their chemistry. Oh, did you hear that? I can't wait to continue reading this. All right, I can't eat my pasta yet because it's still so hot. I don't know if you can see that. I use the back-facing camera on my iPhone, so I don't know what y'all can see half of the time. I always have to go back and look at the clips. So they have hooked up, and that was amazing. And it was not explicit like the first book. I loved it, okay? So it wasn't the smuttiest of smut, and that made me feel good. I like that. So anyways, they hook up. He goes into the bathroom, and he's taking a really long time. And she thinks she hears him talking to someone. And we're in her POV, so who knows? He might be talking to somebody. And she's thinking, I've played this game before. He's waiting for me to leave. He's taking his time in the bathroom, and he's on the phone because he's just waiting it out. He wants to not see me in his bed when he gets out of the bathroom. So she thinks, all right, fine, I'll do that. This was just a one-time thing. So she just sneaks out of his room and leaves because that's what she's thinking. So that, okay, let's see where we go from here. Oh, and also I love seeing glimpses of Henry in this book. So Aurora is walking down the stairs and, you know, she's trying to make it not look like it was a one-night stand that just took place. And Henry sees her and he says, why do you look like you're fleeing from the scene of a crime? And she says, I don't, but I gotta go. Sorry. And he just looks at her and he says, he's a good guy. And then Henry repeats it and says, a really good guy. Talking about Russ, talking about his friend, his teammate. And Aurora just says, I can tell. I really have to go. And then she zooms out. Oh, I love Russ. I love Russ and I love Henry. All right, I am officially 20% into this book. Remember, it's 383 pages. I'm on page 77. So I'm 20% in. It happened very quickly. It's only been 24 hours. It's been 24 hours since they hooked up, and now they're at the camp. And y'all, at, what's it called? Honey Acres? There's a dog at this camp, and her name is Fish. And Fish had 2 puppies, and they're named Salmon and Trout. And I'm obsessed, and I want to read more about that little side plot. I'm sure the dog and the puppies will be all in these stories while they're at the camp. So they've both been thinking about each other for the last 24 hours, and now they're at this camp together. And also, Russ was giving himself a pep talk in his bathroom while Aurora was in his bed. He was not talking on the phone with somebody. He was not waiting for her to leave. He was giving himself a pep talk and trying to give himself confidence to ask her out on a date. And when he came out of the bathroom, poof, where's Aurora? And he just thought he would never see her again. And now here we are, one day later, and they're at the camp together with this cute dog and puppies. But, all right. Here we go, 20%. Y'all, they spend the entire first day of camp not talking to each other. They have seen each other. They know each other is there, but they don't even say hi to each other. He, for sure, is just not saying a word. I don't want to say he's avoiding her. They're doing their camp counselor thing, but he just does not look her way. He just has nothing to do with Aurora. And Aurora spends that whole first day just pining after Russ and just staring and longing. And I don't even know if he's noticed that she is just down bad for him. I don't know, he's in his own little world because he's probably hurt, and she's in her own world, and she doesn't know that he wanted her to leave, and then he doesn't understand why she left. So we have that going on. And one of the other camp counselors keeps telling her, just go talk to him, go say something to him. But Aurora just keeps saying that she doesn't want to get rejected in front of all of the other camp counselors. Okay, this is just a really quick check-in. So I'm past the 100-page mark. I'm past the 25% mark. So that's exciting. We're making strides in this book, y'all. But the last chapter was so sweet. So Aurora was crying, and Russ, he's just so sweet. He just wanted to know if she was okay. And it's been 2 days. They've been at the camp for 2 days. They've been avoiding each other for 2 days. And now he sees her and she's crying. And so he's talking to her, and he just wants to make sure that she's okay. And then she finally opens up a little bit to him to say that today is her dad's birthday and that her and her dad just have a really terrible relationship. He does not mention his father, but us readers know that they both have issues with their fathers. But that was just so sweet. I want to get ready for bed. I've been reading so much. I mean, y'all, I had not read much after those first couple of chapters this morning, and now we're past the 25% mark. So I want to get ready for bed, and then I kind of just want to stay up till 1 or 2 in the morning and read this book all the way through. I'm in my kitchen just cleaning up from dinner. So they talk it out. They hash it out with each other. And she thinks Russ hates her. And he says, no, the opposite. I really like you. And then she says, okay, but you were waiting for me to leave your bed. You were in your bathroom that night that we hooked up, and you were talking to somebody. And he says, girl, I was talking to myself. I was hyping myself up to ask you out on a date. So then and this is what I love about the author, Hannah Grace. She's so good with communication. You see that a lot in Icebreaker. The main girl has a therapist. It's a whole thing. It was incredible. So then here they're talking and they're hashing it out. And she says, we are indeed the miscommunication trope, which I just love. So then they're staring at each other and they're all googly eyes for each other. And she says that she wants to start something. She wants there to be something with them. They need to, she wants them to figure out what they are and if they can be more than friends this summer. And he just keeps saying, no, we can't, because I don't want to get fired. I don't want anything to happen. And she just says, they're not going to get caught. He's not going to get fired. And I'm about to make some hot tea. He says, what did he say? He said that this is not a theory that he's willing to test. And then she says that half the fun is testing theories. I love Aurora, and I also love Russ. And this is just, it's so cute. This is my boy cat, Audi. I have 2 cats, Audi the boy and Minnie Cooper the girl. He just wanted to cuddle with me while I'm in the kitchen making some hot tea. And I just wanted to introduce y'all, at least in this vlog. My cats make appearances. I just love them so much. 5 years ago this month, I adopted them. Actually, no, just kidding. July will be 5 years. Ah! You want up here? I am just going from bad lighting in the kitchen to bad lighting in my bathroom. So I'm waiting for the shower to heat up. It takes so long to get hot, but y'all, it is really late right now. I've read so much. I'm past the 40% mark. It's late. And I took a shower this morning, but I want to take a shower again before I get into bed and read. I want to finish this book. But I don't know what all I can say right now at the 40% mark. I don't like Russ's family. I'll say that. He gets a phone call from his brother. I don't know what I can tell y'all. And it's about his dad. And Russ is trying to figure it out. And then I will say, I don't know what to say. It's a romance book. Okay, there's not suspense. This is not a thriller. His dad, there was an accident. Sorry, my cat is in front of me. He just jumped up onto the sink. I don't know what to say. But Russ does go off on his dad. He just tells him exactly how he feels, exactly what we as the reader have been thinking, just either cut that man out of your life or you need to stand up for yourself. Russ does that, and that was empowering. That was great. But anyways, I plan on finishing this book tonight. Thought I'd reiterate that, but it will be tomorrow when it's done. It will be about 2 in the morning probably. I'm not the quickest reader, but it's so good. This is such a good book. Real quick, this is our guest bathroom, and I made it's so much girlier in here, and I've got some diamond art in here. But this is a cuter bathroom. Maybe, I use that back-facing camera, so I'll see when I rewatch the footage. I love the shower curtain. I will say, Aurora and Russ, they finally talked it out. I mean, he didn't tell her everything, but he told her a lot about his dad, and then she brought up a lot about her dad, and then they just collectively agreed. They were like, well, aren't we just walking advertisements for daddy issues? And I just wanted to tell you all that in a cute bathroom. We have reached the 50% mark, and can I just read this to y'all? Okay, so JJ, he's in the first book. He's in this book too. And he says, this is JJ talking. JJ says, I'm pissed that I had to graduate for people to realize how wise I am, because he's a little bit older than Russ and Aurora. And then JJ says, think about how much better everyone's lives would have been if I had been listened to. And Russ says, but I've always listened to you. I have been faking confidence for weeks now. And JJ says, well, remember, you're not faking it now. You are confident. You're a tall, hot, well-educated hockey player. Women will look past every red flag for a man over 6'2". So stop waiting for something bad to happen and go have fun. And Russ says, I don't think I have any red flags. And JJ says, oh, my sweet summer child, you're a straight white man. That's your red flag. I was laughing out loud at that. And then Russ says, that seems totally fair, actually. Thanks for chatting with me. I appreciate you. But anyways, we have made it to the 50% mark, y'all. So I think I'm still going to keep reading, even though I keep yawning, even though I'm tired. But I want to finish this book. Have y'all read The Fine Print by Lauren Asher? I'll post a picture of the book on the screen. So right now there's a thunderstorm going on, and Aurora is terrified of storms, and she's just trying to figure out all these different ways to get through it because she's scared. And she's talking to us, the reader, and she says, I've tried music on my headphones, I've tried calming meditation, I've tried distracting myself with a book, but the weather is so bad that not even sexy billionaires with a theme park are enough to distract me. She is absolutely talking about The Fine Print by Lauren Asher. I'm at the 60% mark. Are possums called possums, Or are they called opossums? And also, are they really not dangerous to humans, even though they have their sharp, pointy teeth? Is that true? There's a scene in here with a possum. It doesn't say opossum. I just thought they were actually called opossums. And then it also says that Aurora is mad at the public school system for not letting her know that possums aren't dangerous. But if they're not dangerous, why do they have such pointy teeth? Is this true? Are possums really not dangerous? And what are they really called? This is once again not an actual check-in, just like the last one. But Aurora, I haven't told y'all, she's an English major, and she's talking to Russ, and she says to Russ, I hate poetry. And he says, you're an English major. How do you hate poetry? And she says, just get to the point, you know? If you... I don't even want to read all of this. I just like the ending of it is just so stupid. Should I even include this clip? It's so dumb. She just says, I don't trust poetry. You think you're reading about an intense love story, but then you find out it's actually about a shoe. Y'all, page 249, I found an Easter egg to the next book. Can I tell y'all? If y'all don't want to know, just fast forward 30 seconds. Okay, so we know the third book is between Henry and Hallie, because the synopsis, it's on Amazon. Also, I said at the beginning that I think the book comes out in July. It comes out in August of this year, August 2024. But it's between Henry and Hallie. Y'all, Aurora and Russ, or Aurora at least, is talking about Hallie. She says, Aurora says this, I have a friend in my major called Hallie. She runs the book club at the bookstore in Maple Hills, and she's super sweet. It's just a tiny little Easter egg, but I know that Hallie has to be Henry's Hallie, because if you read the synopsis there, and then here she owns a bookstore, it's the same girl. My only check-in right now is that we've reached the 75% mark. I'm on page 287, and Russ and Aurora are talking, and what does she say right here? She says, oh no, did the nasty man who chases men for a ball insult you? You, a man who also chases men for a ball, but on ice? And Russ says, I know you're just trying to mock me right now, but I'm gonna need for you to confirm to me that you know that there isn't a ball in hockey. I mean, I'm the goalie, so I don't technically chase anyone either, but if we could start with the ball thing first, that'd be great. Anyways, 75%. I love their banter, y'all. I love it so much. I had mentioned The Fine Print by Lauren Asher 40 or so pages ago, because that's what Aurora was reading, the book, and I love that book. I gave it 5 stars. It's free on Kindle Unlimited if you're in the United States. But now Aurora is reading another book. She says, blah, blah, blah. Amelia asks, as I throw different hair accessories into a purse with my cell phone, headphones, and a paperback about a princess and her hot bodyguard. Y'all, that is absolutely Twisted Games by Anna Huang? Helen Huang? Anna Huang? I don't know, but Twisted Games, I gave that book 5 stars. Twisted Love was the first in the series. Not that great. Twisted Games, I mean, that was a 6-star book for me. It's a 4-book series. I only read books 1 and 2 because books 3 and 4 scare me, because I think there's torture. But she's reading a paperback about a princess and her hot bodyguard. She's absolutely talking about Twisted Games. I love this author. Does Hannah Grace know these authors? Just checking in because we're at the 80% mark. We're on page 306. I say we because it's you and me, you know. And all I have to say right now is that Aurora is with her mom, and oh, my cat is so cute. What are you doing? Hi, Bubba. Anyways, Aurora is with her mom, and they're at the beach, and her mom is wearing Christian Louboutin heels at the beach. Okay. All I have to say right now is that Aurora's mom stole her neighbor's cat. And she's giving this cat its best life. So, congrats to the cat. I just need to know. Okay, again, this is about the Easter egg for the third book that's coming out in this series. So if you don't want to hear this part about the Easter egg, fast forward 30 or 40 seconds. So I just want to know, it doesn't say on the synopsis on Amazon for the third book that Henry and Hallie will be fake dating. It seems more like it's a tutoring relationship. He's failing a class. She's really smart, so she tutors him, and he like accidentally crashes her book club. I don't know. It said nothing about fake dating. But right now they're talking about how Russ and Stassi is the main girl from the first book. They're talking about how Russ and Stassi fake dated for a hot second when those guys were hitting on her. And Russ says, I love fake dating. And then Henry says, fake dating? ? That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. And I just wanted to throw that out there because if Henry is saying how ridiculous it is, it's just making me feel like that is the scenario he's going to get himself into in the third book. I have finished Wildfire by Hannah Grace. Don't ask me what time it is. It is the next day. And I'm gonna go to bed. As soon as I'm done telling y'all my thoughts, I'll wrap this up. It'll be really quick because y'all have just been hearing me talk about the book anyways for the last, 25, 30 minutes. I don't know how long this video is, but this was so cute. I think I liked this one more than the first book because the first book also had a villain in it and I couldn't stand any of that. But I am rating them the same. I'm going to give this book 4 stars as well. And only because there's a couple of things. There was a lot of family drama with Russ and his family and then Aurora and her family. I mean, to the point that there were so many chapters in a row where I just felt like, I don't want to say it was a literary fiction. I felt like I was reading like men's fiction and women's fiction because in those chapters, I mean, it just had nothing to do with their relationship. And yes, I know you want to learn the backstory. You want to learn more about Aurora and you want to learn more about Russ. And then you want to get to see them come together and navigate their daddy issues as a couple. That's great. And Hannah Grace is still a great author, but there was something missing because there were a lot of chapters. I mean, we learn a lot about their family life and it just, I don't know, I felt like it was dragging on and I just wanted to keep rolling my eyes and just, let's just get back to the summer camp setting. Just get back to y'all sneaking around and running around and all the tension. I don't know, it was really starting to feel more men's fiction and women's fiction than a romance. So I didn't like that. It was kind of boring. And then the other part, once they do decide, y'all, this is a romance book. We know they're going to end up together. So once they do decide, let's do this, let's be together while they're still at camp, because the whole book pretty much takes place during the 9 weeks that they're there at Honey Acres. Once they decide to become a couple, they are just hooking up left and right. It was just a lot. And it wasn't as graphic as the first book. The first book had so much smut. There was just a lot and it was detailed. But in this book, I mean, it's not very detailed, but it was a lot. They just kept doing it. And I just didn't need to keep reading that. I wanted to read about them getting to know each other and exploring each other more, not only exploring the sexual side of their relationship, but anyways, it was still really good. I mean, I'm not knocking it down to a 3 or a 2 star. This is a 4-star book, and this has a ton of reviews across Amazon and Goodreads. So many people have rated this so much higher, but I'm gonna give it 4 stars. I highly recommend that y'all read this book. You do not need to read the first book in order to read this. They are interconnected standalones, I guess is what it's called. But if you want to get to know more about the rest of the hockey team, that is what would make me say to read the first book and then this one, because all of the characters, they come back. They're in this book and they're in it not just in the beginning, they're in it throughout. I don't want to say too much. I don't want to spoil anything. But this was still so cute, and I think y'all should give it a read. But thank y'all so much for coming along on this journey with me, and I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.